The king of chaos has struck again, but this time the throne is made of steel bars and regret. Because yes, King Harris, son of rap royalty T.I. and Tiny, has found himself in the kind of mess that makes reality TV look like Sunday school. According to multiple insiders with good Wi-Fi and bad morals, King got into a violent clash behind bars after arguing with the wrong people, and let's just say it got ugly. We're talking screaming, swinging, and a collect call that reportedly left T.I. speechless. And when I say speechless, I don't mean silent. I mean furious. Sources say the moment King called home in tears. T.I. was pacing like he was about to drop You Don't Know Me Part 2, the jailhouse remix. The internet, of course, is eating this up like Thanksgiving leftovers. Half the world is saying he needed this wake-up call, while the other half is clutching pearls, screaming, "Where's his daddy?" So how did the Prince of Atlanta go from bragging about the streets to crying behind bars? And what's T.I. planning to do about it now that his son's name is trending for all the wrong reasons? Buckle up. This isn't just drama. This is Expose Express. And this story might be king. Harris's biggest reality check yet. It all started with a phone call that nobody saw coming. One that reportedly had T.I. staring at his phone like, "Ain't no way my boy calling me collect." But let's rewind, because the lead up to this moment reads like the script of a bet plus crime series written by Zeus Network interns. King Harris, son of hip-hop legend T.I. and R&B queen Tiny, has been walking around like Atlanta's own mini Boosie Badazz for months. He's been online talking tough, flashing teeth and tattoos, arguing with fans, and insisting he's built different. Remember that viral clip where he said he grew up in the trap while standing in a mansion that had marble floors and maid service? Yeah, that's the one that turned Twitter into a comedy club. The internet laughed, T.I. cringed, and King doubled down. Because that's what happens when your ego's got its own Wi-Fi connection. But that tough guy energy finally met. Reality behind bars, sources say it started when King got into an argument with a few inmates over, wait for it, a phone. Not his, obviously, because this man can't go 5 minutes without a live stream. The argument allegedly got heated when King tried to use the communal phone and someone told him, "You don't run nothing in here." That was it. Ego versus experience. The clash we all saw coming. Witnesses claim King snapped back, talking about how he's T.I.'s son, which, let's be honest, is the least intimidating sentence you can say in jail. That might scare paparazzi. But it won't move a man who's been serving time since Obama's first term. From there, it escalated fast. Shouting turned to shoving, shoving turned to swinging, and swinging turned into chaos now. Nobody knows exactly who landed the first hit, but one thing's clear. King found out real quick that fame doesn't count as street cred when you're locked in with people who actually survived the streets. By the time guards stepped in, it was ugly. Blood, yelling, and a bruised ego that hurt more than any punch. Word is, King was trying to act calm afterward, pacing his cell, mumbling about fake respect. But that facade didn't last long, because a few hours later, he did the one thing no real gangster ever brags about doing. He called home. The audio of that phone call hasn't leaked yet, but according to a few sources close to the situation, King's voice cracked. The moment T.I. answered, now imagine that one of the most confident kids in hip-hop culture. The same one who said he don't need no help, calling his father in tears, saying, "It got bad. Pops, I messed up." They say T.I. froze. Tiny, who was nearby, allegedly started crying before even hearing the full story. Because say what you want about the Harris family, when it comes to their kids, they ride hard. But here's the thing, T.I. isn't just a father. He's a man who's seen the streets, done the time, and survived the chaos. And he's been warning King for years. If you've been following this saga, you remember that viral breakfast clip? T.I. sitting across from King, sipping coffee like an annoyed pastor, saying, "You want to be from the hood so bad? You gonna end up finding out it ain't what you think." Well, guess what? That prophecy just came true live and uncut. And the irony, it hit the internet faster than King could hang up that collect call. Within hours, word got out that King had broken down in jail after an altercation. Of course, the blogs twisted it faster than a reality show confession. King Harris attacked behind bars. King calls T.I. crying after fight. T.I. furious with jail officials. The whole internet turned into digital detectives overnight. Some fans said they saw it coming. Others blamed T.I., saying this was a parenting fail. One tweet that went viral said, T.I. tried to raise a philosopher and a gangster at the same time, and now the universe confused. Another added, King thought jail was an episode of Snowfall. Turns out it's locked up raw. The memes were endless. Pictures of King in orange jumpsuits photoshopped next to his dad holding a Bible. Tiny praying, and even Boosie looking proud in the background. But not everyone was laughing, because while the internet treated it like entertainment, insiders said T.I. wasn't playing at all. Word is, T.I. called every contact he had the minute that phone dropped. Lawyers, wardens, you name it. One source said Tip went full father mode. He don't want no special treatment for his son, but he damn sure don't want him getting jumped again. And that's the craziest part. This wasn't the first altercation. Apparently, tension had been building since King got locked up. Some inmates reportedly didn't like the way he carried himself, too confident, too flashy, too celebrity. Now, let's face it, walking into jail talking about I am T.I.'s son is like wearing a target that says, test me. Now, if you think the story ends there, oh, you sweet summer child, this is just the trailer. Because by the next morning, the Harris family group chat had officially gone nuclear. Tiny reportedly wanted to pull every string to get King released immediately. T.I., on the other hand, wanted to let him sit a little longer to learn something. You could practically hear that Atlanta drawl echoing through the house. He wanna play gangster. Let him play it all the way out. And if that's true, it's one of the most savage but realistic father moves ever made. But even as T.I. debated between rescue or reality check, news of King's emotional breakdown spread beyond the family. Jail staff, guards, even other inmates started leaking details. He was shaking, one claimed. He didn't want no more problems. Another said, he's realizing now this ain't social media, this survival. By the time the blogs pieced together the timeline, everyone was talking. From the neighborhood talk to Hollywood Unlocked. The headline was everywhere. King Harris breaks down in jail after violent fight, calls T.I. for help. And while fans were glued to their screens, waiting for T.I.'s official statement, King's reputation was getting torn apart by the same internet that made him famous. Some mocked him, others pitied him. But everyone agreed on one thing. This was the wake-up call of the century, because behind all the bling, the fame, and the Instagram lives, King Harris was learning the hard way what his father had been trying to teach him. All along, the streets don't care who your daddy is, and the cruelest twist. This story was just getting started, because what happened after that phone call, the reactions, the fallout, the celebrity chaos made this meltdown look like a warm-up, and the next 48 hours, absolute pandemonium. By the next morning, the internet was in full-blown meltdown mode. The story had spread faster than a leaked mixtape in 2006, and everybody had a take. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram were flooded with the same headline. King Harris breaks down in jail, calls T.I. crying after clash behind bars. Some people said good for him, maybe he'll humble down, while others swore it was a setup or a lesson from the universe. But the loudest voices? The comedian's memes were flying like bullets in an Atlanta cipher. One viral post showed a photoshopped King on the phone with T.I. captioned, "Hey daddy, they don't respect my drip in here." Another had T.I. standing outside the jail like Liam Neeson from Taken, with the words, "I will find you, and I will educate you." Even celebrities couldn't resist. Boosie hopped on Instagram Live, laughing so hard he could barely speak. "I told y'all Lil Dude ain't built for that. You can't turn no rich boy into no gangster overnight." The internet ate it up. Meanwhile, T.I. and Tiny were dealing with the situation behind the scenes, and from what insiders say, it wasn't pretty. Apparently, that emotional phone call had split the family right down the middle. Tiny was devastated. According to one source close to her, she couldn't even finish her breakfast after hearing her son's voice on the phone. She said she never heard King sound like that before. He was scared, really scared, the source claimed, but T.I. different story. He wasn't cold, just furious. Not because his son was in danger, but because he warned him this would happen. T.I. had literally gone on record saying, "My boy think he want that life, but he don't know that life come with pressure he ain't ready for." And now, his prophecy had hit like karma with perfect timing. One insider claimed that after hanging up the call, T.I. allegedly told his manager, "I ain't raising no victim." He wanted to learn. Now he learning. That line leaked faster than a bad album, and fans had a field day with it. Some said T.I. was too harsh. Others said it was the realest parenting move ever. One tweet summed it up perfectly. "T.I. ain't wrong. Sometimes you gotta let your kid taste the consequences they ordered." Meanwhile, back inside, King's reputation was collapsing faster than a SoundCloud rapper's career. After that fight, word spread through the jail that the rapper kid had broken down and called his daddy. And you already know that's the kind of rumor that makes you public. Enemy number one in lockup. According to a few alleged inmates who managed to sneak info out because, of course, they did, King started keeping to himself. No more loud talking, no more bragging, just pacing, quiet thinking. It's crazy because for months, this kid had been flexing about being real. But now, he was learning the truth. Being real ain't about where you've been. It's about how you handle where you end up. And he was not handling it well then. Like adding gasoline to an already burning fire. Someone leaked a short clip of him inside a blurry video that appeared to show King sitting on a bench, looking stressed, covering his face with his hands. The clip had no sound, no context, but that didn't matter. The internet doesn't need facts, it just needs pixels. Comments went insane. Boy wanted to be Tupac, but got humbled like Carlton. Bet he writing a gospel album in there right now? Says ain't King Harris, this humbled Harris. It's a memes. The mockery, the public humiliation, it all hit at once. Even 50 Cent jumped in, posting a meme on his story saying, "When you tell your daddy you hard and then meet the real hard dudes, petty." Absolutely viral. Instantly. But while the world was laughing, T.I. was moving in silence. He wasn't going to let his son be a punchline, at least. Not for long. Sources say T.I. reached out to a few inside connects to make sure King wasn't being targeted anymore. He didn't want favoritism, but he made it clear if anything happened to his son again, there'd be legal smoke. And that's when things got interesting. A close family friend leaked that T.I. and Tiny were considering removing King from that environment early, claiming it wasn't safe. Lawyers reportedly started drafting paperwork. And even the judge got word that the case had turned into a social media circus. But the judge wasn't impressed. He allegedly said, "Your son wanted to act grown. He can sit grown for a bit." That quote alone went viral then. In the midst of all this, King's second call home leaked through sources. This time, he wasn't crying, he was apologizing. "I ain't gonna lie, Pops. I ain't built for this. I thought I could handle it, but I can't. You was right." And if that wasn't cinematic enough, one insider claims T.I. simply said, "That's all I needed to hear." That one exchange, real or not, spread like wildfire. Fans called it the father-son redemption moment. Podcasts were breaking it down like a scene from Power. One comment said, "That's the first time King sounded like he finally understood what his dad was trying to teach him." And that's when public sentiment shifted. Suddenly, people weren't laughing, they were reflecting. The memes slowed down. The jokes turned into life lessons. Everyone started realizing what we've all seen in real time, a young man drowning in his own image, finally realizing the difference between Instagram reel and real life. But of course, this is the internet, nothing stays serious for long. Because right as the sympathy wave started, A rumor broke that someone inside had stolen King's designer sneakers. Yes, you read that right. Apparently, he'd been allowed to keep a pair of flashy slides during intake, and by day 2, they were gone. And if that isn't poetic justice for a kid who grew up flexing designer everything, I don't know what is. Fans couldn't resist. Somebody traded King's Gucci slides for extra ramen. Not the prince losing his crown and his Crocs. It was brutal. But through all the laughter, the chaos, and the humiliation, there was one thing nobody could deny. King was getting the reality check of a lifetime. The same kid who once said, "I ain't scared of jail," now couldn't wait to get out. And while T.I. was still playing the tough dad role, sources say he's been quietly arranging counseling and mentorship programs for when King's released. He doesn't want this to be a PR disaster. He wants it to be a pivot point. Because deep down, even with all the headlines, T.I. knows one thing for sure. His son needed to feel the heat to learn not to play with fire. But the firestorm wasn't done burning, because just as the Harris family started damage control, the story took another wild, unexpected turn. A new leak surfaced. This time involving a recorded conversation from inside the jail. And what King reportedly said in that call made everything even messier. And when the internet heard it, they went from awe to, oh damn, in about 5 seconds flat. Just when everyone thought the King Harris jail saga had finally simmered down. Bam! A leaked recording hit the internet, and suddenly, the entire story flipped again. The audio clip, allegedly from a monitored jail phone call, had King's voice echoing through static. "Man, they tried me in here. I had to stand on business. But now everybody acting like I'm the problem." It was only a few seconds long, but that was all the internet needed. Blogs chopped it up, slowed it down, captioned it in bold red letters, and re-uploaded it like it was a verse from Drake versus Kendrick. Prison edition. Immediately, theories started flying. Was King trying to defend himself? Was he blaming the guards? Was this the same altercation that got him crying on the phone to T.I.? Nobody knew, but everyone acted like they did. Twitter. Detectives started connecting dots faster than the FBI. One thread claimed that King's wrong crowd wasn't random, that he'd allegedly been running his mouth about being famous, attracting jealousy from other inmates. Another post said the fight started because someone snatched his food tray. And then someone uploaded a grainy photo allegedly showing King with a bruised lip. It wasn't confirmed, but the internet doesn't care about confirmation. It cares about content. The comment sections were divided. That boy learning what real life feel like? Leave him alone. He's still a kid. Nah, he wanted to be hard. Welcome to reality. Meanwhile, the Harris family's PR team was working overtime, probably crying into their oat milk lattes, trying to stop this wildfire from spreading any further. But T.I. wasn't playing defense, he went on offense. Within 24 hours, Tip went live on Instagram, sitting in his living room looking like he was about to drop a sermon instead of a statement. Ain't no parent perfect, man. But one thing about me, I done gave that boy everything. All the tools, all the lessons, all the warnings. He made choices, and now he learning consequences. He leaned back, adjusted his hat, and said the line that instantly went viral. Sometimes the best teacher is pain. The internet stopped. That one sentence hit harder than any diss track. Half the viewers were clapping, calling it tough love parenting at its finest. The other half said he was using his son's pain for PR. But either way, everyone was tuned in. Then Tiny entered the chat, literally. She dropped a simple story that said, "Mama's praying for her baby. God got him." Short, emotional, and exactly the opposite of T.I.'s iron-fisted energy. Fans flooded her DMs with sympathy and support, posting comments like, "Tiny's the soft heart of that house, and Mama knows this is breaking her inside." For the next 2 days, the internet turned King's downfall into a cultural debate. Every talk show, podcast, and YouTube commentator had something to say about celebrity kids and entitlement. Charlemagne Thaw, God said on The Breakfast Club, "You can't play street and skip the struggle." King learned that lesson the hard way. Meanwhile, Boosie, because of course Boosie had to speak again, dropped another gem. "Man, I shoulda let me raise that boy for a month. I'd have had him right." The world laughed, but deep down, everyone knew Boosie wasn't wrong. But then came the twist nobody expected. An anonymous insider claimed that King's clash wasn't just about a phone or respect. Allegedly, it started after someone made a joke about his father being rich, while he out here trying to act broke. That triggered King. Words were exchanged. A shove, a punch, chaos. And that's when everyone finally got it. King wasn't fighting inmates. He was fighting his identity all his life. He's been T.I. and Tiny's son, royalty in Atlanta, raised around fame, money, and cameras. But instead of embracing that, he wanted to be real, to prove he wasn't soft, to prove that growing up in luxury didn't make him weak. And now, that need to prove something had landed him in the one place his parents prayed he'd never see behind bars, learning lessons the hard way. The irony couldn't be louder if it had its own mixtape by the end of that week. King was reportedly released, bruised, quieter, but very, very different. When TMZ caught him leaving the facility, he kept his head down. No talking, no smiles, no "I'm good," just silence. But I wasn't done with the public teachable moment. He went live again, this time standing next to his son, looking like a man who had just aged 10 years in 10 days. This ain't about humiliation, this about growth. Ain't no shame in falling down, only in not getting back up. Down, only in not getting back up. King stayed quiet, nodding, eyes low. And for once, it looked like the kid who used to talk loudest in the room had finally realized that real strength don't scream, it listens. But leave it to the internet to twist even that moment into memes. Someone captioned a screenshot of the live T.I. turned family trauma into a TED Talk. Another wrote, "This the crossover episode between Scared Straight and Family Hustle." Still, amidst all the jokes, one thing was clear. This was a turning point, because the same fans who used to roast King for being fake tough were now saying things like, "At least he facing his mistakes." The energy shifted from mockery to cautious respect. Even 50 Cent reposted the clip with the caption, "Sometimes life be the best teacher. Salute to Tip for handling it like a man." I know. Whether that was genuine or just 50 trolling like usual, we'll never know. But it made headlines, and that's all that mattered. Behind the scenes, though, insiders say T.I. isn't letting this go. He's allegedly lined up mentors, therapy sessions, and possibly a documentary-style project to turn this entire ordeal into a lesson for youth. Because if there's one thing T.I. knows how to do, it's flip pain into press. But King, he's been quiet. No lives, no rants. No "I'm real" speeches. Just silence. And honestly, that silence says more than 1,000 captions ever could. Because for once, King Harris isn't trending because he's talking. He's trending because he stopped, and that right there might be the realest move he's ever made. But make no mistake, this is hip-hop. Royalty we're talking about. The Harris family doesn't stay quiet for long. Whether it's redemption or relapse, peace or pettiness, you can bet your last hashtag that when they do speak again, the internet will explode all over again, because in the kingdom of fame and family feuds, silence isn't the end, it's just the calm before the next headline. And there you have it, the royal meltdown of King Harris. The heir to Atlanta's hip-hop empire turned into a real-life cautionary tale straight out of a rap lyric. From flexing about street life to crying behind bars, this entire saga played out like a live-action morality movie, except this one didn't need Netflix. It needed common sense and a collect call. So what do y'all think? Did King finally learn that the streets don't give VIP passes to celebrity kids? Or will this just be another chapter in the ongoing Harris family drama? Drop your thoughts below, because this story has more twists than a T.I. verse from 2006. And look, Whether you're team he deserved it or team pray for the boy, one thing's clear: actions got consequences. Even when your daddy runs ATL, the internet might be laughing now, but lessons like this, they hit different when the lights go out and the clout don't matter, so smash that like button like King smashed that phone call button. Hit subscribe before T.I. starts dropping motivational quotes about it. And ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next explosion in celebrity chaos. Because over here we don't do boring, we do breakdowns with bite. This is Expose Express, where the gossip is wild, the sarcasm is free, and the truth always comes with a side of shade. Stay tuned, stay messy, and remember, in the Harris household, even silence trends. The next headline's probably already loading. Until then, keep your head up, your tea hot, and your drama documented. This is Expose Express, where we don't report scandals. We rebuild them for entertainment purposes.